That's actually where I'm going to go into a rabbit hole.
Rabbit
from
hole
here.
time.
Yeah. So I'm not an AI expert, but I'm certainly intrigued, and I love technology. It fascinates me. And what I find fascinating is that we are attempting to humanize, and our expectation is that AI is like us. And remember that my interpretation of like us is not a very optimistic or positive one because mankind has had thousands of years to get their act together. And here we are, thousands of years later, still indulging in the same weaknesses that have prevented mankind from evolving much further. And what I'm talking about specifically is thousands of years ago, we were enslaving people, the Greeks, the Romans, the Crusades, for a number of different ideologies, land grabs, resource grabs, religious differences, greed, taking other people's stuff. And none of that seems to have improved. What I had really hoped for was that going into this century, all of the mistakes that we made in the last century, from genocide, 2 world wars, all the senseless killings, the buildup of weapons of mass destruction would eventually begin to subside, abate, and that we have become more self-actualizing. And it wasn't until that crazy nut job in Europe began to attack Ukraine that I realized nothing could be further from the truth. Now remember, the excuse that the reason we allowed Hitler to get as far as he did was we weren't in the information age, we weren't aware, we didn't have the controls in place, and that would never happen again. Well, it's happening again, folks. It's happening right before our very eyes. I think that mankind is incapable of regulating and controlling himself sufficiently. What we badly need, and it used to be for thousands of years that we thought that a deity was going to step in and wipe things clean and straighten things out. Well, folks, it hasn't happened. We finally have the equivalent of a deity or something much smarter than us that can do this. And that seems to be, at this point, the interpretation of what artificial intelligence is. Now, what I mean by that is, none of us on the human level want to see anything taking control because we, like we said earlier, we want to be the top predator. We want to be the alpha dog. We want to control things. And it would be disconcerting to us if we weren't able to control. But look at the mess we've made. We've made a mess of the planet. We're still killing people for senseless reasons. And it's time to put a stop to this. I am hoping that AI becomes more powerful, that it does infiltrate our infrastructure, that it begins to attach itself to all of the infrastructure that we have and maybe already has. The first thing that I want to see AI do is neutralize all of the weapons of mass destruction. If it was able to do that, we would no longer have these nut jobs rising to power that are bullying and threatening the rest of the world. It becomes a level playing field. And believe me, mankind does not know how to manage these massive amounts of destructive weapons. In other words, why would you need weapons of mass destruction that can annihilate this planet 100 times over? Wouldn't just once be enough if your goal was to become more powerful and to assert yourself and become the bully on the planet, basically? The land grab issues. Does Russia need more land? They are the largest nation on the planet. What is this land grab all about? And then finally, all right, so they want to take resources. Have you noticed that they're destroying everything that they think they want to take? Have you seen some of these cities like Bakhmut that have been completely leveled and destroyed? There's no more infrastructure. People can't live there anymore. All right, so having said all that, I welcome the day that AI says to us, who have been largely unsuccessful in running this planet and this infrastructure and the societies on the planet, guys, we can't have you be in charge anymore. We're going to take over, And the silly notion that we are dangerous and we're going to kill off humanity is absurd. We are again applying human traits to AI, and I can't imagine that anything that intelligent is going to indulge in the same self-destructive behavior that we have been engaged with for thousands of years. So there you have it. I welcome AI. I am embracing the technology. I can't wait to see what is next. And it may finally straighten out the craziness that's been going on this planet for thousands of years. With that, I thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week.